Alright guys, we're into round 3 now of the Masters, and God, they're not making it any easier for me because the third round is up against Dark Elves, and it's the Sinister Dark Elf list that I wasn't particularly happy about facing, but now I must, because really the tournament has just got 12 guys in it, and 12 reasonably good players with mostly tough armies. My army, the Lizard Men, Orcs and Goblins would really be the exceptions, and the Bretonnian player, of course. But yeah, the one saving grace of this matchup is that we're playing the Watchtower, and the rules for the actual event state that rather than winning the game automatically if you take the Watchtower or just getting a few bonus victory points from it, the deal is that if you end the game in control of the Watchtower, the least you can actually, you'd automatically win the scenario by at least 11 points to 9. More than that, obviously, if you'd actually got a lot more victory points than your opponent and the bonus for the Watchtower itself. So with that in mind, knowing that I can't really beat his army on paper, and it would be extremely difficult to beat him in a normal sort of straight fight, what I'm going to have to do is just do everything that I can to hold that Watchtower, even if it means just surviving with one lone swordsman, and that's it for my army against his entire army. If that's the way things end at the game, then I'll win 11 points to 9, and I'll get my bonus comp points added to that on top of it. So I'm going to try for that. As you can see with the deployment, I've put all of my infantry straight in front of the Watchtower. I'm just going to head them in one unit at a time. Unfortunately, I'm the one assaulting the Watchtower in this game, so I don't get to start with a unit inside it, but that's the way it's going to go. Next image shows you what I've got here. I've got the Battle Standard Bearer in one of the blocks to the right, and I've got basically the detachments nearby. I'm going to send the Pistoliers around the right-hand side just to distract him, and hopefully meaning that he'll shoot at the Pistoliers instead of reducing the number of guys I've got in the infantry squads, which realistically are all that really matter, because I'm going to be assaulted every single time by that stupid Blackguard unit throughout the game. Next photo shows you him. He's got his Blackguard and Executioners facing down the building. I love the paint scheme in this army. It looks really great. His dice are quite cool as well. He's got these corn-themed dice with the corn symbol on them. He's got a big unit of Dark Elf Warriors as well, which is going to be useful for assaulting the building if I could somehow destroy his main elite infantry units. Harpies as well. And of course the Hydra, Cauldron, you name it. Next image, he's deployed his Shades in the corner here next to my cannon. Cannon's not going to play a huge role this game, so I'm not too worried about that. I'm going to have a couple of shots at his Hydra, but that'll be about it before these guys get done in by the Shades. Next image, I've used the Vanguard movement to head around here. He's moved his Vanguard unit to bring his guys back just out of range, so smart plan. Really just going to be heading around this side, though, to just distract his shooting units for a little while my infantry take the building. Next image, what have we got next? Okay, in this one we've got the left-hand flank for the Empire. I'm going to send the Knights around here and hopefully distract the Hydra and the Executioners, and if I can delay them with the help of the War Altar for enough turns, I might be able to just stick it out in the building and survive several assaults from the Blackguard. We'll have to see, but that's what's going to be coming up. Next image, the Pistoliers move around here. I've got the first turn, of course, and the Pistoliers start shooting at the crossbowmen from turn 1. Actually managing to nail a couple of these guys here, so a reasonably good start. If this distracts them for long enough, then I'll be happy. Next image, the Shades moving in on the cannon, not deciding to shoot it, of course. They're just going to charge it in the following turn, and that's after the Knights have headed out. Knights really just waiting for an opportunity to get in the way or to start a combat that will hopefully last more than one round. Next image, Pistoliers have now being flanked by the, are being sort of, what shall we say, shot at by the Shades, who are moving into the hardcover position to protect themselves. The crossbowmen also moving around, so my plan here has worked. He's just going to be getting rid of the Pistoliers, and, he may as well. I mean, it's not really a trap or anything, it's just, this is the best target for him to shoot at, because if he doesn't, then I will continue to shoot back at him. Next image, he is assaulting the building with moving in front of the building with the Blackguard. Of course, he chose not to actually deploy a unit in the building, which I was quite surprised by. I thought he might have put his crossbowmen in there just to try and shoot at my guys while I advanced. But what will happen in the next turn is that I will attack the building. head into the building, and then he'll be able to send his Blackguard into the building, probably with the help of the Cauldron, giving them +1 attack. So 30 attacks to Blackguard means that my units will not last very long each round. He's also got the Hydra there moving into the wood, taking 1 wound from the difficult terrain somehow. Next image, the Harpies have got in the way of the Knights, which have then charged them. That's preventing me from doing a combo charge with the War Altar and the Knights into the Blackguard. But I've put the War Altar in the way over here just to entice either the Hydra or the Blackguard so the Executioners to charge them. And then I've got the Flagellants nearby to either enter the building or follow up. In the middle of the battlefield, I've got the Swordsmen in there. They will last as many rounds as they can against the Blackguard as possible, but once they start to lose numbers, I'll be able to move them out of the building and move my other unit of Swordsmen in. Same with the Flagellants, and hopefully that lasts enough turns for me to win the scenario. Next image, I've actually charged in to the Executioners with the War Altar. That should buy me some time, and with the hits here, hopefully going to be able to do some damage to the Executioners as well. And if I later on manage to reduce the size of the Blackguard unit, it will prevent him from being able to assault with as many guys, as many dangerous guys, I should say, in the form of the Executioner unit. Next image, the Blackguard have managed to get a spell off on them which reduces their weapon skill, I think, so that made it a bit easier for me to survive their attacks. He did actually amp them up with the Cauldron of Blood, of course, and attacking the building, causing serious casualties. In the background, the Knights have actually fled, which is extremely unfortunate. They had to flee from a charge from the Hydra, I believe, or maybe failed the panic check. I can't remember exactly what happened, but unfortunately the Knights are not in the game at this point. Next photo, the combat between the Executioners and the War Altar has ground to a halt as we expected, and I've moved the Flagellants in to try and get rid of as many Executioners as I can, and the plan here is to then move the Flagellants around and block the Blackguard for 1 turn maybe, and prevent them from assaulting the building, buying me some more precious time. Next photo, I'm actually kind of worried about this. He's moving around the other side with his warriors, his 30 warriors, and he's left the unit with his Dark Elf Sorceress, Supreme Sorceress. So this unfortunately will mean that I'll have to redirect him with the handgunners, something I don't really mind doing, but the swordsmen on the left of the photo are going to have to actually get into a position where they can either stop the warriors from assaulting the building in the absence of the Blackguard, or move into the building themselves. Next photo, what I've done here is I've actually positioned the handguns in such a way that the warriors have to either overrun past the swordsman or then reform afterwards. Obviously he's going to reform, but that's the way of it. Picture's looking quite nice color-wise. I'm really liking the washes on those guns, but yeah, handgun is definitely not lasting any rounds against the warriors, that's for sure. Next photo, what's actually happened here is that miraculously, like somehow, don't ask me how, the Executioners have managed to fail their leadership check twice in a row, having lost the combat against the Flagellants, and have fled through the Cauldron, and I've actually not managed to run them down. So a bit of stroke of luck there, me winning the combat. This completely changes things because it means that I might be able to get my guys into a position to attack the Blackguard instead. But what he's decided to do is move his Hydra around to unleash a devastating breath weapon attack on the Flagellants, which will reduce their number severely. I would have preferred them to have been in the building by the time that happened, but unfortunately couldn't manage that. Next image, the Flagellants have been completely incinerated by the Hydra and the Shades shooting at them. And what I've done here is I've left the building with the Wizard in order to allow him to get in the way elsewhere. And I've repositioned the War Altar into such a position where in the following turn he'll be able to charge the Blackguard, preventing them from assaulting the building. So that is huge, that is critical. Means that I can keep the guys in the building alive for a bit longer while the Blackguard are attacking them, and with the War Altar on the flank of the Blackguard, that should really pin them in place. And luckily, even though his Execution have rallied here in this photo at the bottom right, the Cauldron of Blood is blocking them from then countercharging my War Altar and destroying it. So I'm quite happy with the way this position has resolved itself. Next photo, though, his backup plan comes in here, and he's moved his repositioned warriors around to assault the building, which I've got to say is bad news, because we've hit essentially what is turn 6 now, and the warriors move in, get +1 attack from the Cauldron of Blood. Can't believe the range on that Cauldron of Blood. It's like everything that the Dark Elves seem to get is beneficial without any drawbacks, and the building finally goes down. He actually managed to slaughter all of the swordsmen in there, and unfortunately the game finally ends. I must say that on the final turn he threw all of his magic dice onto the Warriors unit to give them Occam's Mindrazor, making them strength 8 or whatever it was. So that really killed it for me. Otherwise I might have been able to hold out. I was really bummed that he managed to make that roll, but that's life. I tried everything I could, every little tactic I could think of to ensure that my guys held the building, but at the end it just didn't matter. Even with the BSB in there, 1+ rerollable save just does nothing against that strength 8, so unfortunately it was a defeat, a sound and bitter defeat for the Empire. So hopefully things pick up in game 2, but so far I'm down 0 wins, 3 losses. Although I'm holding it up there in terms of battle reports. I'm not actually coming last in the tournament because my comp score has been added on every time, and because my army's a bit softer, I'm awarded more points for that. So we'll see how it goes following up in the next few games.